Record. Happy Monday and welcome to the A's to Z's of Building a Real Estate Team. Ralph, you look like a mugshot.
Good morning. Well, no, I'm not in prison. I'm actually at the vet right now. So
okay. Puppy,
yeah.
okay?
It did look
yeah, it's just itchy.
It
Looks like I'm in prison, huh? I'm like, yeah, so it was a late night and I'm gonna get out soon.
Need us to send bail money?
Yeah, I'm like, there's my window. I could see freedom.
I thought it was an interrogation room myself.
It feels like it. What do you feed your dog? No.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully everybody is as in chipper a mood as I am. Everybody got up and lead generated this morning, right, Ralph? He hates it whenever I'm on a call.
I made all the calls I have right now. And I'm like, literally like, I need some more people to call.
Excellent.
Where are you at, Ralph? If I may ask, what state?
California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's in Livermore, not far from Balia.
Hey, how are you? I'm in Livermore.
All right.
You're in a nicer part of Livermore than I am right now because I'm at the vet.
So quick suggestion, Ralph. You know what helped me get more people to call is, are you talking about prospecting?
Yes. Well, that's what
Yes.
Selena was talking about. Ralph wasn't.
So I would say, well, I didn't know if inviting to an event or something, but I went through my phone. I have over 4,000 contacts and just started reaching out to people I hadn't talked in a while. And I did get a couple of buyers from it.
Nice.
So I would suggest going to your phone contacts. I'm sure you have a few thousand.
Yeah, I just got done calling 590. It was
Nice.
like I went through the whole database. Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of leads, but it's not like some of them are a little bit farther out. We got some buyer stuff. It's just getting them to click right now and putting them in the funnel. So
Not your database, your phone.
yeah, my phone is my database. It's better than the database.
The people
Really?
you know.
Well, yeah, the people I know don't answer the phone because they know it's me. No, I'm just kidding.
Your sphere of influence.
I called them. They were part.
The people who know and love you.
But now the list is getting shorter and shorter.
He hates it whenever I'm on the call. It's like, darn that Selena, she's going to ask me every time. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. We're talking about team building today. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want to talk about before we jump in? Anybody? Oh, Rick Cheehaw, Rick Cheehaw. Oh, Rick Cheehaw. You have a question in the front?
Lead. I do want to talk about the importance of lead generation and the fact that the sort of the thought process of the people that want to get on teams is that they're going to get on teams so that they can get leads.
Yeah.
And the main thing people are avoiding by getting on teams is actual lead generation. And if we're going to really honor the team idea or the win-win concept that you're going to come on team and get leads, but you're also going to bring leads. Like it's a win-lose if all you get is leads. Okay. And if you saw a cocoon and you go, oh, the poor cocoon, the butterfly's struggling, and you cut open the cocoon so the butterfly could come out, it would die like soon because it didn't have the strength to handle the outside world, because it would have gained that strength by, I mean, obviously you guys have all heard this before, but it's definitely something that I'm hearing more and more as I'm recruiting, because people want to be on a team and go, so yeah, especially with how much lead generation I've been personally doing in the last 2 months, both for recruiting and for listings. And it's not easy. And that's why people get discouraged. So.
Yeah, I would say it's a primary reason that most recruits would say that they join a team, right? Is the lead flow. And then there becomes this sort of inequity, right, over time and over the years, talking to people, recruits, and then even as they're with the team for a while, this conversation of, I was just talking to someone the other day where we were writing a contract, And it was sort of the expectation with an agent coming in about how many leads they would bring into the team. And the agent said, well, excuse me? And we were writing in that there was an expectation about how many, oh, let me let somebody in, how many leads they would then also bring in from their own personal database. And they were shocked. And we said, well, this is a reciprocal agreement to a certain extent, right? And they didn't understand that concept. And we said, well, absolutely, we want to, bring you business by helping you with the lead flow that this particular agent does a lot of listings, and there were a lot of buyer leads being generated, and it was the whole purpose behind bringing in a buyer's agent, right? So it was actually 2 listing agents that I have that are partnering up in the DC area. They have a lot of listings between the 2 of them. One of them does a lot of high end, one of them does a little bit of a lower end, but he's been working his farm for years, and they just purely cannot handle the buyer leads coming in. So obviously we need a buyer's agent, but we wanted to set the expectation early that even though they would be provided buyer leads, right, that we could have them work, that we wanted them bringing in leads from their own sphere of influence, that they were going to be working their sphere, their top 50, their SOI, and not just be sitting there with their hands out. We've been down this road before. I've been helping this agent for 3+ years. I've been coaching them, one of the agents, the higher end one. And I said, let's set the expectation in this contract that over the years, they need to be bringing business in. So we said a minimum of 2 per year sphere of influence leads that they were bringing in from their own sphere, meaning I want them working their top 50 in their sphere of influence. And the agent really was like almost ready to kill this buyer agent deal, this contract, over not wanting to work their own sphere of influence and bring in 2 transactions a year. And I was like, you're telling me that you're willing not to come onto this team, that we have like 20 buyers, like we're chomping at the bit, ready to work with this buyer agent, because this agent did not want to like work her own sphere of influence and bring deals to the table. And it was amazing to me that she was ready to sit there with her hand out and bring, and close all these transactions being given to her, but actually not work her own deals. And I was like, okay, well, this is like the whole point was that we work together. And it's very interesting dynamic, right? And I'm like, maybe this is not a good fit. I'm like, if you're not willing to bring anything to the table, then maybe we're not willing to give anything back. So think about that situation as you guys are writing agreements with potential agents coming into the team, that if this is a give and take, right? Give and take. So different kind of situation right now, and maybe a different way to bring contracts into it. Like, what are they bringing as well? Like, are they willing to work their own sphere of influence and prove it to you? And actually close transactions in their own. They should be, even the team that I was running in New York, we asked the administrative staff to also bring deals to the table every year.
Oh, wow.
Right? From their own sphere of influence. Good morning, Liliana. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. I did have a question. Now that we're talking about contracts, I'm so excited that we're talking about that.
Yep.
So I redid all of my contracts. I set like minimums and expectations, and just, I set the bar for the team, which has been really helpful in regards to being reflectional. Go ahead, Rick.
Did you do it on your own, or did you do a meeting where you collaborated with the people yourself?
So what I did was I got a lot of team contracts from other team leaders, and I read through which parts that I liked and loved, and then I added them to my team. And then ultimately I like redid what I thought would make the most sense. And then we did address it as a team. And then I said, if there's any parts you feel like that need to be adjusted, or would be a little bit more fair, then feel free to reach out before I send these out So everyone was in agreement. I think it's a pretty fair and cool contract, but there is like, you know, disclosures, like parts in there that kind of say, hey, if you're not doing X, Y, Z by, I have a 90-day trial in on my contract now too. So I don't have these people on my team for years without performing. So that 90-day trial period is now coming to an end. And there's some people that I just need to, you know, break ties with. But like now my question is, how do I do that effectively? Because ultimately, like maybe they are a great person to produce eventually, but at the pace that they're going, they're just not at the pace that I would like them to be. And I don't want them to necessarily lose them on my downline, you know, but I do want to kind of sever that relationship, but just not be an intimate one.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different ways you can kind of go about this. So, and I'm trying to remember if this was on a call I did last week or with another coaching client. So I coach a client, he has his own brokerage out in South Carolina, and he has 3 different levels. So it's his own brokerage, and he also has 2 levels of teams within his brokerage. One he calls the elite team.
Okay.
And that's like the creme de la creme, right? And that's the people he spends all of his time with. And those are the people producing at the highest level, the ones that he coaches individually. They get the highest level of lead flow and things like that. And you have to meet the requirements in order to get that. And then when you start producing at a lower level, you know, you're kind of the B team. You know, you're not getting the same level of attention. You're not getting the productivity coach in the same amount of time. You can get back up to the elite team when your production gets to, you know, up to that point again. And then you kind of have you're just in the brokerage, right? Which would be like, hey, you're still with EXP in this sense. You're still in my downline, but you're not on the team, and you know, you're still getting, you know, assistance as far as like being within my downline, but you're not getting one-on-one attention at all. And that's okay, right? Like you're still getting what you need from us in one sense. Hang on, let me just let somebody in really quick. And there are ways to kind of address that. Hey, this might not be for you. Like we've had it before where we've had folks that have left, and depends on kind of where they are. Maybe you're not at this point where you want to be at this level of production, and that's okay. Like, what would you say is holding them back from being where you feel like they would want to be?
They're lazy.
Liliana.
I do everything for them. Like we do script practices every week. We do team huddles. I have accountability calls. I set goals with them every week. And it's just like week after week of them not fulfilling their goals. You know, like I let them come on listing appointments with me so they can learn. I coach them through. I take calls for them. I do buyer's consults with them. And it's just like, yes. So I need a small, like, I like the elite team, the B team, but then what does that conversation look like when I'm like, okay.
Rick
Yeah.
wants to say something.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the nice thing about EXP is you can build a brokerage within a brokerage.
Yeah.
We bring over lots of brokerages. What Selena's saying is an incredible idea. You can still say that the top people get to be on my real estate team, on the Liliana Matos real estate team.
Right.
And then you can have these different levels. You can do whatever you want within EXP. You can say, you know, if you're on my team, everything's 50-50, or maybe even like some of our teammates are going to have 40 to them, 60 to us, based on how much ISA work we do, whatever. But then for me, there's only 2. There's the Rick GR real estate team, and then there's EXP. And I can really promote and saying, look, you still get me and Selena with EXP.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what you get if you're on the team, but the team is the only one that has, this is what you get and this is what you give.
Mm-hmm.
All of the other stuff has no give. You just get. You get it? Right? If you're on the Rick Giat team, you got to give all of this. You're going to lead generate. You're going to be accountable. And you get all of this for doing that. Then when you drop down to just you're joining EXP, remember that PDF, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can,
Yeah,
you
I
can
made
build-
one.
Right.
I made
but
my
you
very
can-
own. So
Yeah, you can build other levels into that PDF and have different levels. Like Jason, for instance, I often think about, how credible his family name is in the area and that he could really do what he wants. Jason would be a good one to have different levels. Here's the team. And here's the other things we do, right? We've got maybe B and C, A, B, and C.
Yeah.
We right now only have, really, you join EXP, but with us, you're joining EXP with empirebuilders.pro, and you get all of empirebuilders.pro and all the tools. That's plenty for us. So it's the Rick GR real estate team, or it's empirebuilders.pro. We're good there. But I think is that what you're saying, Selena? Like building other levels of, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the conversation, Liliana, would be, I mean, typically how I would say it is, hey, listen, we've really tried, we've done this coaching, this is where we've gotten, and it just appears that maybe, you're not producing at the level to get to this point of the team.
Yeah.
And, at this time, we can't dedicate the same level of resources, right? And that's just the same level of resources until you're producing at this level, and I've even put people on what we would call a performance improvement plan, and that we call it a PIP, right? And normally you would do that for an employee, but you can also do it for an agent. You can say, I'm putting you on a PIP. And, during this time, you have 90 days to improve and get into production at this point. And if they don't, then they're down at this level, and you're on the, you're down, you're not on a team, right? And if you get back up to this production, then you're back up on the team, but they have to meet qualifications to get that kind of attention and those kinds of resources, right? But right now they're not in yet, they haven't met the minimum levels of production to get the resources that you're offering, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's time and money for you.
It is. I mean, I had a bunch of people on Zillow and I was giving them all these leads and I had minimums. And then this month I was like, enough is enough. I turned everyone off that didn't meet the requirements. And that was like 60% of them.
Yeah.
And they were like, what's going on? And I was like, you guys aren't taking my money seriously. Like, I'm providing all these great opportunities, like I give you enough resources, a lot of resources that, a lot of agents would kill for, and they're not being taken for granted. So they're being taken for granted. So yeah, so I told them that we were going to have quarterly reviews. So that's coming up in April. So during the quarterly reviews, we're going to assess their numbers, and I have to promote or demote or, separate ties. So just trying to prepare myself for that conversation in an effective, positive way, because I don't want anyone to feel like, they're losers at the end of the day, but I want to do it in a reflectional way. So hopefully, if they get their stuff together, the door's open.
Well, I think saying it in that way, say, look, we absolutely want you to stay with EXP. There's nothing saying that you can't, get into production and be back up to this point. It's just that I have to focus the time and the resources on the people that are in production at this level. And there's nothing to say that you can't get to this point. It's just that right now you're not producing at this level. And let's get, if you want to take what I've taught you so far, and when you get here, I'm here. But right now, I need to focus the time and attention on the people that are really invested in getting here.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Grayson, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, Liliana, you and I have talked kind of about this, right? And I feel you. I completely feel you. I think what Selena's saying, that catalyst, there needs to be a catalyst of some sort for our agents. They get, how do I describe it? If they feel this level, even though we're requiring, we're pushing, we're pulling, we're doing everything we can as their team leads. But I think there has to be a point that we come to them and say, hey, how are we? What's going on? And I think that performance evaluation period, and maybe we shorten it up, because 90 days for us is a long time.
Yeah. So just
but maybe we can do like hey, I'm going to need this in 30 days. You don't have to close.
Yeah.
But
in contract. Yeah.
You need to be in contract, or you need to write at least 20 offers.
You should be writing offers for sure.
Yeah, you should be writing offers. And granted, sometimes, I'm spending $3,500 a month on Zillow leads, and I've got 2 agents that are taking them all.
Yeah.
And like in my head, I'm like, guys, you better be freaking closing. But it makes sense, like, and they are, one of them's closing tomorrow, the other one's writing today, you know, they're moving, but the reason I'm bringing that up is I think that's the catalyst, is we give them a time to say, hey, this is what's happening, this is what I noticed, I want to help you, we want to pour this in, you got, you know, in the most polite way, figure out how to say it, you got 30 days for this measurable, and you make it measurable. Like, you must write 6 offers and, or, you know, X, Y, and Z, and you must make loggable follow-up boss phone calls. I have them competing on points, like appointments. You must be having appointments. Yeah, I'm sure you do too. Like, hey, so-and-so has 9,000 points and it's the beginning of the week. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring it up. So I think measurable results in 30 days. I think, Selena, you nailed it, and thank you, because that, I need to do it too. We're driven people, like, this is why we're all here.
Right.
And Rick, I think you nailed it. I think at one point when I was talking to you originally, yes, when we were talking originally about starting a team, and I'm like, I would never work for that split. I would never work at 45. I would never work at 50.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, it's too hard for me. But we are not hiring me. If I was hiring me, I would probably work for me for a little bit and then be like, all right, bro, thanks, bye.
Right. Yeah.
And just like, you know, like, you would work for yourself for a little bit and then be like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, have you seen the Capital One commercials where there's an audition for a guitar player? And they have that guy that's like a rock star. I forget, what's his name? That guy in the
Slash.
yeah. So, and he's playing and they go, you can't make a better choice, right? So Jason, it'd be like me looking for a team member, and then I look at the list of candidates and you're at the top. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. But we have the mentality, Liliana, Balia, like everybody on here has the mentality that I would never work for that. But you're not a team member, you're a team leader, and that's a mentality thing. And they say that leaders are born, right? And I would disagree that you can teach a leader. I have a friend of mine that I met her when I was going to be a guest speaker for Keller Williams in Las Vegas. She was the receptionist whose job it was to check people in at the event. Today, she's Century 21 Corporate's #1 training director. Okay. And when I talk to her all the time. I can't get her to come to EXP, but she's like, Rick, I owe everything to you. I go, you don't owe anything to me. You did all the work. She goes, I know, but when I saw you on stage in Las Vegas, I realized I was meant for more, right? And she went from receptionist, then she became like head of admin for the KW office. Leaders can be born and leaders can be created, but that's not the mentality of 95% of the people. Let's be honest, right? So
Sure.
Good for you. And thank you, Jason. I stand on the shoulders of giants. So.
So I have a quick question, Rick, because I am looking, I mean, I'm sponsoring folks and some of them I am mentoring personally and looking at bringing them on as part of my personal team.
Yeah.
When we give leads to them, like the gentleman's, got Zillow membership and handing those off to his team's folks. So once the lead is active and they get in contract and they close, that relationship stays with that individual, right? With that team member, or does it stay with the leader?
Stays with you. And even like if they snuck off and they kept all that secret information, who's going to win? The person who communicates with the most, the person who stayed. Like as soon as this young lady, not young, but lady that left our team, I started calling all the buyers. I started texting all the buyers that she did with us. She didn't do that many, but I texted them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Just checking in. So-and-so left our team, but I want to make sure you knew I was here for resources. Like that's on you. Okay. And if you have your systems and operations in place, which I'll be honest, they're not all done. Selena's still got the whip out, but getting the communication set so that there's communication, there's people calling, there's people checking in on them. It doesn't matter. They could be with you and the first call is still going to be to you. Right. And when that doesn't happen, that's our responsibility, ours, the team leader. So yeah, they're gonna hopefully build that up. But like we pay for the closing gift, and it says, when the closing gift gets there, it says the Rick Jihad team and Patty or whoever represented them, right? So,
And
Okay,
your contract should state that those are team leads.
yeah,
so even though they close a transaction and then they decide to leave, that lead stays with you guys?
yeah, but does that mean they're gonna obey that? No, but I said again, even if they say, they sneak it off, they go, I got all these leads I got. Doesn't matter. The person who wins is the person who does the best job every time. Right?
Okay,
You need to remember that most agents don't keep in contact with leads after they close. It's, it's.
yes, I know.
We
Yeah.
call those orphans. And most people do forget, and it's people who have systems and processes, which are typically team leaders, and people who have operations, people who do a much better job at it. So, and it's typically
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Rick, just to clarify, like for you, when you hand off a lead from it's Zillow, whatever it is, you the split is what, 45%, 50%?
No. We don't have a Zillow account, but we have a lead generating account. We were giving them all 50-50. And
Okay.
out of my 50, let me explain this. And I think Jason and Liliana know this already, maybe even Bernadette and her hat. Why is my name blanking her? And Bruce.
Bruce.
And Ralphie knows this too, but when we are 50% on my team, we have, not everybody does this, but if you start getting a lot of buyer's agents, how many are you up to, Jason, now?
I literally only have 2. I lost 2.
Okay, don't say only. Most people have none, so you're good.
I
But
wish-
here's,
What's that, Liliana?
He sounds really easy to manage.
yeah,
2 is
Well-
easy. 2 is easy to manage. There are people, anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, that's okay. But what I'm saying is once we got to 4
Yeah.
buyer's agents, there was one of them, Cindy, who had been a contract administrator at AT&T and a high level executive for 30 years, 35 years. She retired, she became, well, it was very quick. I think we did 3 offers together. It was just me and her and one other buyer's agent. My other buyer's agent didn't need help on writing offers. And then before you knew it, Cindy wasn't asking any more questions. So I went to Cindy and I say, how would you like to be lead buyer specialist? I'm not going to tell you what agreement I have with her, but the way it would work for you guys is every lead she got would be at 5% higher than everybody else. So instead of getting a 50-50, she'd get 55% automatically on all the deals. Plus she'd get 5% of every deal all the other buyer's agents did to keep those buyer's agents from coming to you ever for anything.
Got it. Okay,
Okay, she becomes a gatekeeper and well, this was pre-Selena, but you can ask Casey, that one move allowed me to recruit like a motherfucker. Seriously, like I went nuts recruiting because now I didn't have 4 buyer's agents calling me all the time.
okay,
Right? We excluded one that had been with me the longest because she won't go to anybody. She'll only ask me questions. And to this day, she still only answers to me. It's okay. She brings in the most amount of business anyway. She brings in more listings, more buyers than anybody of her own, not counting what she gets from me. So, and she never doesn't want to be on a team. She's a nurse. She's in a network marketing company called WFG. She does all this other stuff. We just let her be because she's just an attractor of business. So, and even if the whole team disbanded, she'd still want to share everything with me. Even if she wasn't formally on a team, she'd still just say, I'm sharing with Rick, right? So she's the one exception to the rule, but that really helps a lot when you get that big. And what happens is you guys, I can still hear it in your voice, is there's a lot of that maintenance going on. And when you get to 4, yes, it's freaking exhausting. But Bill, this isn't an EXP thing. This is something I learned from Mike Ferry back in the 90s and then Gary Keller in early 2000. When you get to that point, there has to be a stopgap that protects you, the CEO of the team, from having all that time. So
An open door policy can only be so open.
exactly. Yeah.
and so
Bruce,
what about
you're
their
a
own
man.
person? I'm sorry,
Bruce,
go
you're a
ahead.
man much wiser than your years, sir. Go ahead.
And so like, Selena, you were saying that, it's a good idea to have them also bring in a certain amount of business. So the business that they bring in, how is that split? Because it's business that they're bringing.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The only, like, in other words, if right now on my lead source, because they didn't follow up on the leads, we went and got an ISA. And now they're only going to get 40% on those leads. But any other leads they get from us or leads they bring in is 50-50 across the board.
Always.
Like I was saying, out of my 50%, I pay Cindy to help them write offers, present the offers, things like that. I also pay for the transaction coordinator. And if it's a listing, I also pay for the listing coordinator, which is separate.
And Billy, the reason that we do it the same split either way is because there's two reasons. One, if it's Rick's cousin, that's the buyer,
Yeah.
we don't take an extra 15 or 25% because it's his sphere of influence. And so I don't want them coming to me and saying, well, this is my cousin or my brother. And so I want an extra 15% because all of a sudden everybody is related to them. Okay, all of a sudden it gets very gray. Like it's my mother's brother twice removed, whatever. Okay, so it's like it's too much gray area. So we started making it just everybody's 50-50 so that it's like we don't have to worry about it. The only time I've ever normally we see it, it's like if it's your direct relative, like your mother, father, that sort of thing. But we keep it across the board. That way, if it's Rick's family or whatever, it's the same split. And if it's your family or whatever, it's the same split. There's never any like, okay, everybody's just 50-50 and we just leave it. And it's easy to just, nobody has any argument or conversation about it. So it just makes it nice and easy. And then that way they're working their sphere and we're helping them do that, by the way, Belia. It's like we have top 50 and sphere of influence events like Pi Day, which we did for the first time this year. We did Ice Cream Social this year. We cover that. Like we're having them invite those people in.
And daily huddles, all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So we're constantly doing those things, trying to get them to work those pillars of income for themselves, but we want them to bring business in from their own sides. Things
Yeah.
come.
And
So then they also have to split with EXP though, if they get 50%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so do we.
yeah, so do we. I mean, we both, like, cause you got to remember that split comes off the top. That's before anything. So $1 million sale, 2.5% commission. It's 25 grand, 12.5 goes to each. And then out of them, they're 12.5 they're going to pay, and I'm going to pay out of my 12.5.
They're
which is
half
uncapped,
cappers.
but they're half cappers, which they don't get.
Okay, half cappers.
Yeah. And I had one more thought, and then my mind went blank.
Sorry. And Jason, you had a question.
Yeah, and I think Bruce might have going to say something too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, and I don't know how to, Belia?
Delia.
Belia, Español.
Español.
I have, and I'm probably not more gracious, excuse me. I just have a different contract. I have them all, when they sign up to be on my team, on my direct team, and I did this, they give me a 50 written out first and last names, phone number. And that is those are the only people that they will take a 75% split and 25. Anybody outside of that list, they cannot take, even if I just gave one of my guys grace because it was his best friend's mom that just reached out to him. So I just say, hey, you know what, take 75 out of that one. That's fine. But for the most part, they have an understanding when they sign up to be on our team, anybody written on that list, that's it. No friends, no cousins. You didn't write down your mom. In essence, write down your mom. And I tell them that as they're signing up, write down your mom. You have 50 spots, fill them in. Because some of them are established agents. So I felt really bad by just wiping them out of every lead. Although Rick and Selena are right. I am training them like they have never been trained before. They are making phone calls. Oh, well, I never called her more than once a year. Like, well, duh, you're an idiot. That's why she wanted to go buy somebody else. And she's your best friend's mom or whatever. So now, yes, we are training them, but I gave them that. So I have them write out names, and maybe you could adjust yours to 25 names or whatever those names are. I don't give them a family thing because it's true. Suddenly everyone's a family.
Everyone's related.
Everyone. Oh, that's my cousin. No. Write it out. If it's your cousin, write it out. I need a first, last name, and a phone number. Because then it's like, oh, it's Jose Martinez. Well, shoot. every closing market, especially in our area, there's like hundreds of them. Anyway, so that was really helpful for me, was writing out a list that you have already, and I have them sign it and I docu-sign it. Like I sign it, they sign it, everybody signs it. It's all known right in front of you.
You're nice.
That helps. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for pointing out also that they're half cappers. So that means they only pay 8,000 and then they can be at 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Selena, as far as your A and B team, would you still have your B team like on your CRM access to like your pond and your leads, or?
Yeah, usually, so with a B team, I would say that they don't get full lead flow. They would probably have access to the pond, like they could go fishing, but they're not going to get full lead flow. You know, so they can go fish all they want, but they're not going to get, you know, full lead flow. I would give like the creme de la creme of lead flow to the A team. And I would tell the B team, you can fish all day with whatever's been thrown back into the pond.
Right. And then if they're just not doing any of that, then they would just be on your downline.
It would just be on your downline.
Okay.
I'm meaner than most.
I love this. This has been so empowering.
Like, show me that you're hungry.
I needed.
Show
I
me
have
that
a,
you're hungry. Go from downline to B, and then go from B to elite. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
fall your way up. Like, I'm sorry, Bruce. What did you say?
What if they've been on your B team for like a year and still hasn't closed anything? Because I kind of have an A and B team. Like I have my agents that I feed leads to, like live leads to, and then I have my agents that I don't.
Yeah, and if somebody hasn't closed something in a year, they're just an agent in your EXP organization, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sounds great.
So honestly, Selena, your A team are going to be the ones that are actually doing activities, showing properties, writing offers, getting an escrow.
Yep.
And then if they're not doing that within a certain period of time, then you don't continue feeding them leads because they're not proving themselves that they're working them. Give them to someone who's really working. How much time do you usually give them? Like if they just join your team, 30, 60 days?
I mean, really, it depends on their level of experience. I mean, you've got a newbie, let's say it's somebody newly licensed. I mean, that's like 90 days, guys. You've got to,
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. You kind of feel for it. You can tell.
yeah.
I-
Go ahead, Susan.
I have them go through even experience. So I had one agent that was like top producer at a local brokerage. Before I gave him any leads, I had them go through every Zillow training that there were. Like every single one. You have to show me that you've gone through all of that. And then any ramp training or any Empire Builders Pro, I have them go through all of that before I send them leads. And I'm not exaggerating. One of them just plowed it through in a week. He was just like, I'm doing this because he wanted the leads. He needed to feed his family. But yeah, I have them do as much training. So that's my qualifier. Yeah.
And Janelle, I'm sorry, I see you have a question here in the chat. Is there a clear resource within EXP that explains the different ways to start and structure a team? Rick, does EXP have that?
I was going to just mention that EXP doesn't do it for no major corporation would do it and tell you how to do it, because then they're sticking their nose in your personal sales business. Gary Keller, when he wrote the book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, he made it as a book. It's a very popular book with people outside of Keller Williams. It's just a great, really business building model. And he talks about going to what's called the 7th level, meaning moving yourself from I'm involved in the business on a day-to-day business basis. I'm showing buyers and showing sellers, listing sellers, all the way to where you're not involved at all, except as an oversight committee, so to speak. A lot of people, like if you talk to my wife, she'll say there's no such thing, because if your lead listing specialist quits, you're right back in the business the next day. Like there's all kinds of that. There's no true, authentic leverage, permanent leverage, but there is a great level of leverage, and I'm a testament to that. So it's Selena and a lot of other people. So no, they don't, because they can't dictate their model. everybody out there thinks that. I talked to a guy the other day. He's like, I got this great team and everything. And I start talking to him. He's got his team members on 80-20 splits. And I started showing him, I said, what's your monthly nut? He gave me his monthly nut. I started showing him, I go, you have a very high average sale price. So it's disguising, right? You're disguising the fact that you have good cash flow with profitability, and it's not the same thing. And I will preach on that all freaking day long, because Selena and Casey, my wife and my business partner, they're both got me corrected on that so we could see the wisdom of our ways so that we're not running a nonprofit. You just feel good because of the cash flow. So when we advise people, if you look at what Workman Success Systems gives us, their normal workman is 40-60, 40% to the agent, 60% to the team, because of all the costs and the value the team should be bringing. And we even have the line, is when people say, well, I'm never working for that split. I go, let me ask you, is the split more important to you, or how much money you take home to your family at the end of every year? And they always say that, how much money I take home to my family. And I go, 100% of nothing is still nothing. Right? In other words, people want to be a part of something, Janelle. So it's important that the company doesn't say to you, do it this way. But there are major coaching companies out there. And the benefit is you get us, you don't need to go pay a coaching company. We'll show you how to do it. But also we have the contracts. Look at like Liliana, Jason, they've been listening to us. There's a guy not on here, Will Higgins. Will Higgins, you know, as soon as the market shifted, realized his recruiting wasn't doing as well, even though he still sells real estate. And he jumped on this. He said, I should build a team that makes me more credible as a recruiter. Well, he did it in a big way, really quickly. So it speaks volumes for your credibility in recruiting. I mean, Bernadette and Bruce are two of our they attend almost everything we're doing. But we can't helicopter over their house and go, are you guys implementing? Right? All we can do is say, here's the information. And
Thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the package, but after we paid, you were supposed to helicopter over, man. I mean, come on. I need someone up my arse.
So Selena, just real quick to recap, so with the 50-50 split, that allows the team leader to be able to pay for all those expenses. You mentioned the events, marketing, the Zillow, if you're purchasing the leads.
Yeah.
The training, and then they also get the benefit of being a half capper. Okay.
They don't, one big thing, they take on no expense. You have to sell them on that.
Yeah, I mean, they're really paying for their MLS dues, and like, that's like it.
I pay for their business cards because it's my
So that is a 50-50 split. I'm just gonna wait 1 second. That is a 50-50 split for a buyer's agent. It is a different split if they are a listing agent.
35. I'm taking 35, or I'm taking 65, whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
You
so.
pay for their MLS also?
Ooh, negative twist right.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
No,
Okay. No,
they
no.
pay for their dues. They pay for their dues and their continuing education and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And we have paid for their first set of business cards and things like that, because we want all of our marketing and branding to be very consistent. Okay. But a listing agent is a different split, and there's a reason for that as well. Okay. They make less as a listing agent because, again, we are paying for signage and all of that photography because our branding is consistent across the board. We do not want iPhone photos of listings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you said this, Selena, I blanked for a second there. Or I went, what do you call it? Frozen. We did allow our agents for a while to do that, and now we're blanket across no more. And what we're doing is, before, when they did it, they got to keep 40% gross of the listing commission, and we kept 60 to account for costs and everything. Now, I think, what do we have? Just a straight 30% referral fee if you bring a listing, or is it 35%, something like that? But you just get a straight referral fee. And we bonus you by saying any leads from that listing are going to you since you brought it, and you have first right of refusal on the open houses. That's it. So we give them a little bonus for bringing that, and we give them a 30% referral fee, which is more than what they would be getting if they went somewhere else. And then we take care of everything. We take care of So all they have to do, and if they want to come with us on the listing appointment to hear it, it's fine. It's their relationship, but for the most part, we're taking care of everything, so.
What do you guys give as a closing gift?
Well, for a while, we were doing a year of Harry and David. It was 200 and it went up to about $300. And they got a Harry and David fruit delivery every month for a year. I liked it, but then the cost, Casey, who is the chief financial officer, she put the mallet down. So if it's $1 million or over, they get, they get 6 months. And if it's under $1 million, they get 3 months. Still pretty good because we get text every month where they send us a little picture of what fruit they got.
It's cute. I like the longevity of that. That's
Yeah. But we've got some, what was the other one we were thinking about, Selena? I thought you brought something else. To
So what we did in New York,
Oh.
we did go ahead, Rick.
Was it Client Giant? I forget. You
No,
said,
it was, now I'm going to totally blank on the name, but I'll think of it in a second. We did, Alexa devices and we branded them. We had stickers made. And so that it was a marketing expense by branding them. So,
I don't brand them.
yeah. And then, I'm going to think of the name in a second. Oh, we loved it because when I closed my house in New York, Mark sent me mine. Give me a second. EvaBot. EvaBot, look it up. Okay, super cool. You can get the boxes branded in your name. It's really cool. They send you a text message and you can do it by price point depending on what the price point at the closing is. They send a text message to the client and they ask you specific questions about things that you like, right? So that the gift that comes in is very specific based on the client. So for instance, it asked if I like coffee, it asked if I like this, that, or the other thing. And so they actually curate the gift based on that. And when we got it, it was so cool. We got like an amazing coffee press. And because I'm very techie, we got like Alexa devices, little plugs and things like that. I have to say it because she's on my counter over here. Because I'm watching my front camera at the moment because I'm having a car delivered today. But everything was curated specifically for like I have a pet, and so like something specific for my pet came in. My husband said it was the best gift he'd ever gotten. Like, and my husband's super picky. And it was curated. Like we sold our house for a really good price point in New York. And he actually texted my boss, which he knew, right? Because I mean, hello, I'd worked with him for 8 years, and he texted him and said it was the best closing gift that he'd ever seen. But we actually went even so far, all of our boxes were branded with our brand, like the whole box that it came in was branded that way. So really cool experience, especially because you guys all sell in a high-end area. So it really just neat. So basically, like the second that we close, that email address for your clients gets loaded into the system and it sends them a little text message that says, the Rick Jiha team really loved, working with you on closing your home. Here, just answer a couple of quick questions. We'd love to send a gift to say thank you. And they basically just click the buttons to answer what they like. And it tells them that they're curating a gift for them. And then when the time comes, it just sends them the gift in this branded box. You pay extra for the branded box. We opted to go that route.
EvaBot?
EvaBot. EVABOT.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you guys for all the recommendations. I wrote them all down.
Yeah. We just loved it. It was, and I forget where we heard about it from, but someone let us know about it. And we just loved that it was so easy to do.
Yeah.
let me say, Janelle, does this help you, honey? I know that, excuse me, I say honey, respectfully, not disrespectfully, but you're probably the age of my suit or younger.
Janelle is fine. I don't really answer to honey, but I hear you.
Does that help though? Do you get kind of the thing about the resources? And we have plenty of resources that we can have you help you with it. So
Yeah, I'm newer to EXP and I just became a certified mentor and I'm starting to up my sponsors. So I'm really just trying to figure out if there's a structure that makes sense for me. I'm not 100% committed to that being a priority right now. So part of what I wanted to do was join the call. I'm blessed that there's a couple of other people in my local sphere. I'm in the San Luis Obispo area.
Yeah.
You're in my hood.
Jason
Right.
found
I
it.
know, I was like, I know that name. Hey.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Yeah, it's good to connect. Let's have
Yeah.
coffee sometimes, Jason.
Yeah, reach out.
For sure. But
And
yeah,
he's-
so there's others
He's
that
much
are
more
in the-
handsome in person than he is on Zoom.
I don't even know if that's possible. But yeah, there's a couple of people in the area here who are either brokers that moved their brokerage over to EXP or who have structures. And I've sort of asked them as well. And I think that everyone sort of gives the same answer. It can be whatever you want, which is like helpful. And also I think I am looking for some specificity, and this is helpful as you guys are talking about the ways that you're structuring it and how you include training and what the different splits might be and at what point they get certain benefits versus the other. It's been very helpful to sort of listen through. So thank you for letting me be a fly on the wall for this conversation today. It's been helpful.
Yeah, well, there's
Yeah.
certain things that they're gonna get with EXP all the time, Janelle, and it's a big deal to promote that. Are you in our group somewhere or?
I don't know. I joined a call. I think that I was accidentally added to a while ago, and then I just reconnected with Jeff Gonzalez, who's in the area. And
Yeah.
he said, "Are you joining these calls?" And I was like, "I don't even know how to get them." So
Okay.
somehow it showed up in my inbox today and thankfully worked with my schedule. So I landed. But if there is a way to officially join or commit or stay connected to it, then I definitely appreciate the opportunity to have ongoing connection, especially to other agents, because I'm in a little tiny place in the San Luis Obispo area where there's actually only one other EXP agent in the town that I live in. So I'm in Osos, Jason.
Oh, yeah, I spend a lot of time riding my bike.
Yep.
All different areas. But
She's
yeah.
purdy over here. She's purdy. So.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah.
know, I put my email in there. If you want to just shoot me an email address, I'll make sure, an email that I'll, make sure you're officially added into the stuff.
Perfect. I'll do it
Yeah,
right now.
thank you, Janelle. Yeah. So what's your last name, by the way?
Eagle Robles. It's hyphenated.
Got
Eagle
it.
like the bird, Robles like Paso.
Got it.
Oh, whoa. You say Robles
So
as in Paso?
they don't know.
Well, locals will say Paso Robles,
I was gonna say.
but my
I got-
Mexican wife and I take issue with that. So
Yeah, I got corrected by someone from there.
yeah. I mean, I
You
speak
bubbles.
Spanish, so also it just like it's like I used to live in Los Angeles and sing Los Feliz hurts. How I feel about Paso Robles. It doesn't roll off the tongue, but yeah, it's Eagle Robles in my house.
Awesome. All right, guys, we had a really good discussion today, so I'm excited to see kind of what progresses on teams here. Liliana, you'll have to keep us posted.
Yeah, sounds like you're doing something amazing, Liliana. I just have to say, like new to you, new to listening, it sounds like you're super motivated and kicking butt and taking names. So I'm inspired.
I'm trying to. It's all new platform that I'm on. So it's just trying to work out the kinks. And thankfully I have a great support system and these calls to help unpack my thoughts and brainstorm with. So I'm just grateful for, the opportunity to be in business with some good people.
It's always a work in progress. It's it's hard. Agents come in and they have different levels of enthusiasm than what we want them to sometimes. And we see them come, we see them go, and sometimes they step up and sometimes they step out. And we always hope that they will step up. And sometimes though, this is what they need, is a kick in the pants. And when we tell them that we need you to produce here, and this is the requirement, either they take that seriously or they don't, but sometimes they need that little extra oomph of, hey, this is the level of production and this is what we're looking for. And you might be surprised, some of them might take this and really do something with it. So keep us posted for sure on
For
what
sure.
the response is there.
One thing I wanted to ask, are these calls recorded at all or?
Yes. Yep. And actually, I'm going to show you guys. It's so funny that you just asked that because I just finished doing it before this call. So we've been trying to figure out exactly where to kind of throw these things to make it easy to find. So on our Empire Builders Pro site, you know, we've always kind of had the resources page where the live training stuff is. And that we've had just kind of the calls here. And now, if you come over here to where the building a real estate now, right here, boop, access call recordings. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
So now if you click here, it'll go to the playlist in our YouTube. So the Builders Best Practices calls are there, Rick's Free Friday coaching calls are there. And Janelle, just in case you're curious, this is one that you can sign up for Rick's Free Friday coaching call. This is the only one that we don't have, you know, just kind of always going out on here. This is one specifically you have to sign up to get the reminder for. But if you do want to sign up for his Free Friday coaching call on the first and third Friday, if you just click that button, you'll get signed up for it automatically. But all of those call recordings and the playlists have now been added specifically to this page. So I just literally did that before this call started. So,
Specifically asking Selena, the one on Wise Hire, is it on there? Because I'm still trying to get.
the link to Wise Hire? No, but I'll send you mine.
Oh, okay,
Let
that was
me-
amazing. Because I signed up and I'm just trying to. I've got a few people on there and I'm just trying to figure out how
Oh,
to.
that you haven't gotten the reports for, or?
So I just, to be quite honest, that's a whole nother element to Pandora's box. And I just want to make sure that I'm effectively using the platform. I did have a few people on there that applied, but one of them didn't even have a license and the other one's still waiting on their license. So they're just sitting on ice as of right now. So I'm just trying to figure out. And then there's 2 on there that just applied this weekend that I think might be good fits, but the vetting process, I just want to go through like a clean vetting process.
I'm gonna send you my Calendly link. That way we can
That
just.
would be great, so that I can effectively, filter through.
You got it. I'll send you my link.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it is noon and I know it's a busy day, so I really enjoyed talking to all of you today. And let's see, what else we have? Oh, guys, if you don't know, join tomorrow's Builders Best Practices call. Casey is interviewing Decatur Thornton. It's supposed to be amazing, so don't miss it.
All
Okay,
right.
tomorrow at 9 PST. All right. Oh, hang on. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, yeah. Janelle, reach out to Jason. Okay, guys. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
Bye.